One of the destinations of many people prefer to travel or to visit even once in their lifetime is the United States of America. Today I'm going to talk about one type of the visa, the most commonly applied visa to come to the United States of America. And this is tourist visa, or the visa purposely for tourism, or famously known as B-2 visa. For B-1 is a business visa, but B-2 visa is a tourist visa, or just normal we can call it visiting visa. So as a tourist visa, we call it tourist visa or B-2 visa, but that visa is if you want to do a tourism, you want to do some vacation holiday, you want to visit some family, friends, relatives, you want to do some medical treatment in the US, if you want to participate in a conference, you want to attend some music, or you want to attend some sport events, anything of that nature, you are supposed to apply for the tourist visa or B-2 visa. That is the official code name for that kind of visa. So it's one of the most commonly applied visa, and that is the visa many people don't get it. So I will explain to you what do you need to prepare for that kind of visa. Not exactly what kind of question they are going to ask, but what do you need to prepare, the rationale and the concept behind those kind of questions. So before I continue, please subscribe. Here there is a subscribe button. Click that button, you'll be able to subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate if you do that, but also if you can share this video to your friends, family, and any person you know who is looking for this kind of information. So let's go into it. My name is Ernest Bonavas Makulilo, and I'm not immigration officer, but I have enough experience, and I've been helping thousands of people on how to apply for this kind of visa, how to prepare for the interview, how to get scholarships, how to do a lot of things related to immigration for the United States of America. So let's go into it. And so if you are applying for the tourist visa, so let's start with the basic few things. This is called non-immigrant visa. So there is immigrant visa and non-immigrant visa. So B visa, whether it's a business visa, B1, or B2, which is a tourist visa, or if you are talking about, or you are looking about the like F1, you are talking about F1, which is a student visa, you are talking about the exchange visitor visa, which is J1. So all those kind of visa we call non-immigrant visa. And if you win, for instance, the green card lottery, you come to US, you come as immigrant, so you get immigrant visa. So even the form you are filling, non-immigrant visa, they fill one form is called the DS. DS stands for Department of State form number 160160. But if you are applying for immigrant visa, you are coming to US with a green card, you are filling the DS 260, Department of State form number 260. That we are not talking to this particular video. We are talking about 160 or 160 or 160, the non-immigrant form or visa you are supposed to fill. So assume you have filled the form. It's very easy, as I said. The procedures are very, very easy. You just fill the form. You'll be having some of the things you are completely the DS to 160. I mean, you pay application fee, visa application fee, and the visa fee is $160 US. Then you schedule your appointment at your local US embassy. Then from there you visit the embassy on the date for the interview. So in one of the video, which I'm going to put as a suggested video at the end of this one, is if you are visiting, let's say you are visiting your parents, or your friend is inviting you, basically you need to have an invitation letter. So this video is not about what is contained in the invitation letter, the purpose of the invitation letter, things of that nature. But I will just put as a suggested video about that kind of document you need to have is invitation letter. If you're coming to invite, you are visiting someone. If you're coming for the conference, you need to have invitation letter for that particular conference from the organization inviting you. So those are things of that nature you need to have, but it's not this video for that. I will put a suggested video you can watch on your own. But let's continue. So you fill the form, you pay the visa fee, you are scheduled for the going to the US embassy for the interview on the day of the interview. But before you show up for the interview, what do you need to have in order to go to the interview? So for those who have never been to the US Embassy, here is how it is. There are two main doors, whether you can go through them, but there are two main sections. There is a general US Embassy, where you can deal with everything, and there is a consular section. Consular section is the section which you are dealing with visas and things of that nature. So you'll go to the section of the consular affairs, or consular section is the section which they are dealing with the visas. So that is where we'll be going for the interview. Obviously, there is security check, you know, to make sure that you don't have met equipments which are not required, and everything. Then you'll go there. Inside the embassy, once you go into the consular, you go to there is another security check, and then you go to the first window. On the first window, you need to have certain documents. I will talk about these documents, very, very crucial. You need to have these kind of documents in order to meet the qualifications. So you submit these kind of documents on a window number, just like a person. You put that documents there. Once you put the documents, you are going to sit, and you'll be waiting on the window to be called for the interview. So the window you are supposed to submit document, most of the time, those people working there, they are embassy employee, can be local staff. Like if you are in Kenya, there will be Kenyan. If you work in Uganda, there will be Ugandan. If you are in Ethiopia, there will be people from Ethiopia. So mostly they'll be citizens of that country in most cases. So they take your documents, and then they make sure you have everything. I mean, they put it somewhere. So there is a committee or some group of people will be reviewing your documents. And then you will be called, maybe come so-and-so, come to window number 1 or come to window number 2 for the interview. Remember, the interview, in most cases, it doesn't go more than 3 minutes. Usually it's just 1 minute, 2 minutes, it's over, it's done. So, what makes decision in the US Embassy? So, there will be some questions will be asked, but to my experience, I'm not saying this is the general rule, but to my experience, the decision of the visa is already being made. So, for that case, your documents are the one which will help you whether to get the visa or be denied. That will be number 1. When you are being called for the interview, in most cases, that is a formality. In very few situations, they can change the decision basing on the answers you are providing. So I'm going to that, and I might want to make sure that you understand what I mean. So let's go. You need to have documentations to make sure that you are supposed to get that one. So number 1 kind of documentation, you need to have some sort of income. You need to have documents to show your income. The income of yourself. Apart from the person you are going to visit, you need to have your own income. Proof that you can, I mean, like just let's say income. What kind of job do you have? You need to have that one. If you are an employee, you need to have maybe you are having official leave letter that, okay, you'll be out of work for this time to this time because you are planning to travel to go to this country. That doesn't hurt you. But you need to prove that you are employed somewhere. You need to show like bank statement, things of that nature. That is number 1. But apart from the income per se, you can need to show some sort of who is funding your trip. Is the person inviting you? Or if you is the institution is inviting you? So if it is the organization will say, will send you with a letter that will be covering the cost for you to be here and whatever. If they have already paid for the hotel, if you are staying to their, or whatever someone is paying to a home, they need to have those information in the documentation. So that is something else. Who is paying for flight ticket? Who will be paying for your accommodation while you are in the US? That is another part. So another thing is the person who is inviting. If it's the organization, the organization needs to have some of the documents like registration, like letter, like to prove that that is a legitimate organization. Yes, they can check online, but remember, they don't have that time to start to do a lot of digging. So you need to have a letter like, okay, this is the organization introducing you, whatever we are organization registered in which state, things of that nature. Then, if the organization will be covering things, it has to clear everything. If you are invited by a person, you need also to have those kind of information of details about where a person is inviting you. What is the relationship between you and the person inviting you, or the organization is inviting you? Who is going to pay for those costs? If it's an individual, you have to know, is that individual single or married? Is an individual working? What is the immigration status of that individual? Because you might end up, and they put in the detail in the system, the person is illegal and you want to come to America. Obviously, they're not going to give you the visa to visit a person who is illegal. No. So you need to have to know for sure the immigration status of that particular person. Yeah. So those are some of the things you need to know about the person is inviting you. And also the reason why the person is inviting you. Or overall the purpose of the trip. Because if, let's say, organization A is inviting you to come to America for training, and they ask you, what are you going to do in the US? They ask you, but remember, they know the answer because it is in the letter. You say, oh, I'm going for a vacation. You are giving the different reason from the one which is written into the letter. So you need to have a little bit, some sort of basic knowledge of overall trip. Like the purpose of the trip. You are going for a wedding or you are coming for a funeral, but you say, oh, I'm going to visit my friend and then I'll be doing some vacation. While you say the purpose you are going to help someone for for funeral arrangements. So you need to know, to make sure that you know exactly the reason which you want to do, to go there and to do something in the US. And that is supposed to be into the invitation letter. Apart from that part, then the biggest part is to prove that you'll be coming back home after the visa or after your duration of staying in the US. If you ask for 1 month visa, you'll be coming back to your home country. So there are some bilateral agreements between the US and other countries. For instance, there is bilateral agreement between the US and Tanzania. If you ask for a visa to come to America, if you're Tanzanian, even if you apply for a visa for 2 days, they will give you 1 year visa, multiple entry. If you are Kenyan, even if you ask for 1 week visa to come to America, they will give you 5 years visa, because US entered a contract with agreement with Kenya during Obama's time. That means you will be given 5 years visa. So even if the visa is 1 year, even if 5 years visa, remember you ask for 1 month. Just go in your mindset like, okay, we'll give you this amount, because there are certain questions I'm giving you some background, because some of the question might be tricky if you do not know, because they might ask you a question down the road like, okay, so if the law is you are from Tanzania, you are coming to US, you ask you for 1 week, but we give you multiple entry of 1 year. So how long do you plan to stay? And you say, oh, I will stay for 6 months, but already you said in your document you are going to stay for 1 week. So you need to be consistent of your answers. Then, so you need to show the ties of your country. You need to prove that you'll be coming back to your home country. At that point, usually you need to prove maybe you have a family, you are married, you have children, for instance, you are working. Maybe you are working so critical, you have to be there. You need to show that I have this kind of assets, I have farm, I have this one, I'm a very contributive member of my community, I'm planning to do this. So anything you can show that you can be having a tie to your home country, it will be very, very helpful. Any kind of investment, what do you own? But still, all these things, you can quit them, you can leave them and just decide to disappear. It doesn't mean that if you have everything like this one, is a guarantee you'll be given the visa. Because there are some people, they don't have these things, they get the visa. So that is something you have to pay your mind, that no matter like you might have good bank statement, don't come with a bank statement of your uncle and you say it's your bank statement. They want to know you as you. What kind of assets do you have? How can you convince a consular office at the US embassy that you'll be coming back to your home country? Don't come with this unnecessary reason, oh, you know, I'm very patriotic, I love my country so much. No. That kind of answer, everybody has answered the same thing. So you need to have a little bit of reasons and some documentation to prove that, of things you are talking about. Your ties to your community, your ties to your country, your commitment to your country, the reason why you'll be coming back. Those are the things you needed to put down, and you need to have evidences. So once you have all these evidences, you have all these documentations, you will submit at the desk, which when you are supposed to arrive into the consular section, you give them those one. They are going to review those documents. Don't go with the reason I'm going for a birthday party. Someone's a birthday party. No. Unless otherwise, yes, you are a millionaire. Yes, you have been traveling. So one other thing, for instance, to prove that you can be coming back, your visa, you have traveled to so many other countries. You have been to Europe. You have been to other countries, and you have traveled, come back. So obviously, those are the things they prove that you have done to other countries and you didn't disappear. But assume you have 10 years passport, and for 6 years, 7 years, your passport, you have never traveled, even outside your country, to go to a neighboring country. That is very suspicious. You need to have to travel. There will be a video, a separate video. I'll be talking about even if you are in Africa, for instance, there are countries you are within. For instance, you are Kenyan or you are Tanzanian. There are so many countries you can travel within Africa without getting extra restriction. You can just go to Rwanda, Burundi, whatever, go to South Africa. You can, it is still not very costly because you are still within members of East Africa or SADC, something of that nature. So those will be helping you towards into justifying that I've experienced with it traveling. I'll be able to come back to my home country. So you submit all the documents, then you'll be called for the visa interview. So that's why I'm insisting more about the documents. Why I'm talking about more about the documents? Because to my little bit of knowledge and what I've been to the US Embassy a couple of times for the visa interview, I know what usually is happening. So once you are called at the desk of the consular, you'll find your passport on the table. And there might be two things. You might either find a piece of card like this one is light yellow or white, depending on the country. There will be the card like this one. And or there will be some envelope. If there is an envelope, it is a letter. Or it can be just a plain letter that they have denied your visa. If it is a card like this one, it will be a card that you'll be given a visa. And this card, they will give it to you that come on Friday, come on this day to pick up your passport with a visa stamp. You see? So the decision is already being made behind the scene. So the consular is calling you over there, already has been told, deny this person. That is what is my, I can explain to you. So there are certain things you might say over there, they can change the decision. But in most cases, the decision has already been made based on the documents, number one. So your documents are very, very crucial. Then the second part will be answers. So let's say already there is a card which they are going to approve you. Already a consul have been told, approve this person, give the person the visa. But they ask you a question. So you are going to America and you'll be staying there. You are staying for 3 months. You are going to help your brother who is very sick. But for this amount of time is a little bit longer. Will you be also working maybe part-time? Oh, yeah, obviously I'll be working part-time. Remember, the type of visa you're going to get, you are not allowed to work. So they know for sure you are coming to America for other purposes. So they can deny you the visa, even if there was already a card there. So they will change, they will give you a letter, you have been denied. If they ask you a question, you are now single. Here you saw, you have indicated that you are single. Assume you are there and the daughter of the mayor or the son of the mayor falls in love with you and wants to get married to you. What will be your opinion? Oh, no problem, I'm single. I'll be so much excited. It's my dream to marry American. They know for sure, you know for sure, if you marry American, you are going to get a green card. So the purpose of coming to America is beyond what you mentioned there. So you are lying, you have another kind of dishonest answer. So not all the question will be straight, direct. Are you coming back to Africa? Are you coming back to your home country? Are you going back to Asia, your country, whatever particular country, if you is in Japan or something? So it might be kind of like a tricky scenario question. Sometimes they have those kind of questions. They might ask a question. If you are there and let's say you win a lottery. Are you going to build a house? Are you going to invest? So they want to know your plan down the road. Like, are you going there to stay, or you are open-minded to stay, or you plan to come back based on the factors you have indicated, the ties you have, and the things which you bring back to your home country. So you have to be very, very careful. But overall, you need to have a lot of documents to prove that. And if, for instance, I'm the one who is an American citizen inviting you, asking me to prove my immigration status before, asking me to give you my passport number, asking me to give you the passport page, bio page, so that you can use there as justification. The person is inviting this one and this is that one. And if possible, I can even put my job, whatever, like income wise, or I can just even post, I can even have a ticket, but a refundable ticket already. I can show you my tax return that I'm paying tax. That means I'm legit. It can help you for you to get that kind of visa. And you, on the other side, you need to have documentations. So apart from me, who is inviting you to be clean, organization inviting you to be clean. And if you're invited by organization, make sure the organization has even smaller things like email address. If the organization is using Gmail or Yahoo email address, obviously that is a red flag. You need to have organization with the organizational website, organization email addresses. We need to have a legit something like which is true, is not something fake. Something someone can see is, okay, this is a scam going on. So those are the things. So the questions, I cannot say these are the question like particular, but the question revolving around those areas. But overall, you need to have evidence. Why people don't get visa of this kind? One, they are not prepared. They do not know if their invitation, the reason, the status, whatever. They are not honest. Dishonesty is another reason. You don't have any kind of documentation, proof from the person inviting you or for yourself. You don't have even simple understanding. Okay, you are going to this organization, where the organization is. You do not know even which state you will be traveling. You do not know even the city you will be going. You do not know what is the organization doing. You do not know how long you will be staying. Those are some of the simple information you need to know. And you are failing to convince you'll be coming back to your home country. You say, oh, I'm single. No problem. If I get a job, I'll be doing. So those are the things you need to take care of. Why someone is getting the visa, one is not getting the visa. But even if you might have these kind of documentations, but still you might be denied. It's not a guarantee to have the documents to prove that you'll be getting the visa. Because it is a privilege to be given the visa. It's not your right. So there is no appeal. You cannot appeal for that. If they deny you the visa, you can apply another visa. You pay another 160 to go to another visa interview. I've seen some people, they didn't get it the first time. They applied even the same week. They go into the same week for another visa interview. They got it. So it's not like you can apply the first time, second time you cannot get. But don't apply like the same, like back to back, like 4 times in a row. No. Apply the first time, the second time. If you don't get, wait at least 6 months or a year to apply for another time. So give some time to make sure that you do that. So those were the understanding of the visitor's visa, B-2 visa. What you need to prepare and what kind of the interview you'll be expecting at the US Embassy. So thank you, everyone. If you have so many questions, drop in the comments and remember to subscribe here, but also watch the suggested video here about the invitation letter for friendly visiting to the United States of America. Thank you and goodbye, everyone.